Hello, this is Demois, and this will be starting my new series, Skilling on a Budget, and today we'll be covering Skilling on a Budget player-owned farms. First off, what are some of the things that you need or are required? The requirements are level 17 farming and 20 construction, but I highly recommend you get 60 construction and 80 invention. Some recommended quests are Throne of Miscellanea and Rural Troubles. Some useful things to help you along the way are Buckets, the Grace of the Elves, Luck of the Doors, and Bladed Dice to make doing dailies that much easier. So, first off, you'll be doing rabbits from level 17 to 28, and they will go inside a small size pen. They eat flowers, fruits, seeds, and vegetables. I highly recommend either using flax or flytrap seeds due to their cost effectiveness, and the total time for baby to elder is 1 hour, and the total experience that you will get from growing the rabbits from baby to elder is 500. Next up, at level 28, you'll move on to chickens, and you'll be replacing the rabbits that you had in your small pens with them. They eat flowers, fruits, and seeds. I highly recommend flytrap seeds due to how cost effective they are. The total time from egg to elder is 4 hours and 10 minutes, and the total amount of experience you'll get for that is 1,250. Next up, at level 54, I recommend moving on to chinchompas and replacing the chickens in the small pens with them. They will eat anything, but I highly recommend flax for the cost effectiveness and how easily attainable it is. The total time for baby to elder is 1 day and 18 hours. The total experience for baby to elder is 15,000 total experience. And you'll be doing them from 55 plus. 54 plus. Spiders will be doing from level 64 plus. You'll be putting them in the medium pen. They eat raw meat or seeds. I highly recommend doing the flytrap seeds, and the total time for egg to elder is 25 hours. The total experience for egg to elder is 10,000. Moving on to 92 plus, this is where the large pens come into play, and dragons will eat raw fish and raw meat. I highly recommend raw tuna for how easily attainable it is. The total time for egg to elder is 1 week, and the total experience for that is 100,000 experience. Let's go ahead and get in game, and I'll show you how to get started. So once you get level 17, you'll come over here to Granny Potterington, and you'll start the tutorial. The tutorial's fairly straightforward and easy to do. It won't take that long. You will be given 2 rabbits, and you'll have this small pen unlocked and the breeding pen unlocked over here. So let me go ahead and show you where those 2 locations are, just as you know, but it should tell you all that during the tutorial, but as a reminder. So as you get your 2 rabbits starting off, they will, as an example, will be a male and female of those types in the breeding pen, and you will bring them over to this small pen and grow up the babies that they have. Once they are fully grown to elder, you'll collect the experience for them. So you click here, you'll see gather produce, you'll click this, gather all the experience, then take them to the rabbit seller when it spawns. By keeping one female and one male in the breeding pen at all times will not only allow you to do this more cost effectively, but will help keeping new rabbits coming in, and instead of having to buy replacements. And essentially as you sell your rabbits and stuff like that, you'll go over here to Granny Partington and you will check the farmer's market, and these are the things that I would buy in this order. First thing you'll want to buy is your small pen D2, so that you can have multiple locations to grow up your rabbits, because they will be producing quite a lot of them, and to get the most XP that you can. The next thing that I would buy is that animals can now breed in small pens for 1,000 babies. The next thing you'll want to buy after that is that you want to get your medium pen deeds, your medium pen 2 deeds. Then you will want to get the animals can breed in medium pens. After which, you'll have quite a bit of time until you get to large pens. But if you want to go ahead and get the deeds for the large pens and the large pens too, and can breed large pen, you can do so. But the next buy I would recommend buying is the multiple trait boost in small pens, then buy the multiple trait boost in medium pens. You will be able to purchase all this before you get to large pens if you are following my guide. After which, after you buy the pens for the large pens and the large pen deeds too, you'll want to grab the can breed in large pens. Then you will want to buy the multiple traits in large pens. After which, you will have spare beans to get this Stormbarn deed if you want to, and then get the Stormbarn deed expansion 1, like I have below. These are the only things I recommend buying in here, and that is the order that I recommend buying them in. If you do want to buy the farming totem for each pen along the way, and that's something that you do regularly, like you hunt, say you hunt chins regularly, it's a good thing to have. If you hunt spiders regularly, it's a good thing to have. And if you kill dragons regularly, the totem, they're only 200 per pen, so it's not going to break the bank if you buy these. I bought the seasoner because I had bought everything else, and I've been playing around with making different type of spiders. That's really the only thing that the seasoner, in my opinion, is good for. It's not needed for this guide, nor is it needed in general. I just have lots and lots of spare beans, so that was my last purchase. Some helpful things for you to note is if you want to, you'll want to teleport in, come to the bank, grab the food for the animals, or have the animals ready to get and have the animals that you want to get out of the barn as you're storing them, because once you move up to because you will get lots and lots of spare animals while you're breeding and growing them up, because especially in the higher levels that you'll get more babies than they can grow up if you're doing this for cost effectiveness and not for the most XP effectiveness by taking out all the animals, then buying new animals, then replacing them, etc. If you are breeding and growing them yourself, you this is a good place to just have a general like location to store your babies in. And what you'll do is you'll keep a breeding pair and one small pen for chins. You'll keep a breeding pair of dragons and each of the adjacent large breeding pens, and then you will have spider one spider breeding pen and this pen or that pen. Either pen works, just have them in one. Food, make sure that they have plenty. Check the food, they're a little low, so what you can do is, I always like to use the chins as a reference point to determine on whether or not I need to feed the rest of the animals, because they eat the most of any of my other animals. So when they start getting low, I just feed all my animals. So next you'll want to go to your, I highly recommend having them placeholders so that they're easily accessible and in a tab that where you know they are. So I'll just go ahead and grab all my flax that I have and from the bank, and then I'll go ahead and grab all the flytrap seeds and all the raw tuna noted, because the tuna that you'll have to note it. And something really handy is like from the bank you can fill and check this one, this pen, this pen, this pen, and this pen, and this pen. Unfortunately, you can't do it on the breeding pen or this large pen, but you can do the rest right from the bank without ever having to move. So first things first, I will fill the trough, and it'll give me the option. And what you want to do is you want to go down to flowers, click flax, click add, go to this one. You'll see that it kept the flowers. Go ahead and add those, and now we're done feeding the chins. And while we're at it, we might as well feed everything else. So feed the spiders like this by scrolling down and going to seeds, click add. Then by scrolling up, you can fill this one with seeds, and lastly, and seeing that all the seeds are filled, lastly you can fill this one with fish, and then you can just bladed dive here or surge here as soon as you go around that corner. I like to do walk first, or you can do either of those, but what you want to do is just fill the trough with fish and then click the other one and surge or bladed dive once you get about halfway. Then fill that, and there you go. All your animals are fed, and only thing left to do is to clean out their pens. So you'll want, I like to grab around 15 buckets. So So let me go ahead and show you something really good to do with the the dragon stuff. As you saw, that I had a bunch of like dragon stuff in there, and so what you can do is take your dragon manure over here. Once you have 15 of it, it takes 1 day to do this. So this is something that you can add into your dailies, and it's a really really solid way of making money. You want to just collect the black poop and not the green poop from the dragon, but the black poop is fair game. And you will collect 15 poops about every 2 days, so about every 3 days, you'll get 15 ultra compost. So that's 100 around $100,000 a day if you make an effort to clean out your dragon pens as bonus as a bonus way of making money. So I'll show you how you put the dragon manure in next, and you just simply click the dragon manure on the compost bin and it will automatically fill for you, which is super handy and a good way of keeping track of how much poop you've collected and how much more poop that you need. Because once it's full, you'll be able to click close, and tomorrow that'll be $300,000. So it's a really really good thing to get into the habit of. After you do that, just go ahead and assume that we empty that poop is to fill up these empty buckets. This is one of the big reasons that I've said that buckets would be really handy to have. Um, by the way, you can muck out all this stuff without any buckets, but you lose out on quite a bit of profit. So I'm just going to quickly do all this so that you can see what I do each day, and I'll show you another good way of how you can make some money from this. And make this really really cheap to maintain. Those would be the two things that we'll cover next after I show you how to clean out the stalls. There's a little ledge right here where you just have to climb over. You do not require an agility level to do so, but it does give you a slight bit of agility XP. And the green manure, you can just empty those because they're not worth as much. If you do want to min-max this, you can collect this all, and then you can teleport to Canifus and use that composting bin as your green poop bin, because they're both of the super compost and the ultra compost are worth a little bit more. And this method of this way that I'm going lets me efficiently and effectively go to each pen, clean them out, move on, and have my dailies done. Another reason to, and we'll show, and so one of the effective items that I said, useful items that I said, would be the Grace of the Elves and the Luck of the Dwarves. While these items are not required while you're cleaning out the poop of the pen, you can be getting Siren Spirits to spawn. They usually spawn about once a day. Sometimes they spawn a little bit more. I've never had them spawn less than once a day. They might not today because I did not have them on, but I'm showing you putting them on and why I recommend using them. So here's an example of after I finish after I finished that dragon, I could have easily bladed dive to this pen, and you can also, while you're cleaning out one of the droppings, instead of walking over after you cleaned it out enough, if you have honed, which is also another good reason to have the 80 invention, if you have the honed perk and the it allows your bladed dive to cool down more quickly along with your surge. So once you're done cleaning out one poop, you can surge to the next poop, and it makes this go that much faster to get on about your day. But it's actually fairly quick to do. It's super chill, and as long as you do this, that's I showed you how to do the dragon one. Uh, that's how you do the chin one. The spiders do not actually need to be cleaned out because, surprisingly enough, they do not produce poop. Next up, here's why I recommended the foods that I did and how to get them efficiently. So if you have a Luck of the Dwarfs, or if you do not, you can take a boat to Miscellanea. And here's where this doing it on a really effective and a really cheap budget really comes into play. So as you saw, I had tons of flax and tons of raw tuna and stuff like that. And this is where I get it from. It's from Miscellanea. All you have to do is once a week. It's been 2 weeks since I've done this one because I've been planning on doing this video and showing you the whole entire process of not only gathering the materials for the stuff, but how much money that you'll make passively and be able to feed all your animals and get as high as level of farming as you want without ever spending a dime. So once you're at 100% approval rate in Miscellanea, you just go ahead and teleport back up there, and then you will collect from your advisor, collect your resources. Do this once a week. So you'll get around 9,000 flax and around 2,000 fish total, which will be more than enough to feed your, even if, well, this is more than enough flax to feed your both set of your chins, because like before I said, eat they only eat around 1,000 per pen. So the excess flax you have here, you can use the money to put back into here, to bring it to 2,000. So there was 2,000 here 2 weeks ago. There's 800 left. 2 million, I mean, and come back, and I've already collected 3,375,000 worth of stuff. Even after feeding all your animals, you make lots of profit by keeping this filled and have plenty of food to feed your animals. So a real easy way to do this is I just find is whatever you have left, just withdraw it, and then if you do 2M, it does 2 million, and just deposit 2 million back in there. And in a week, only half of that will be, there will be about a million so left, and you'll still have made like $2 million and have plenty of food to feed your animals and enough to make profit and to fill it back for full of 2 million. So let's go back to Arduin, and I have a friend with me because he is the one who